Before we get started, I'm going to do some housekeeping real quick. Yes, this video is sponsored by Flexispot. However, I'm not being paid for this review, and all thoughts and opinions expressed in this video are solely my own. Editor Paul here from the future really quickly. When I first filmed this video, I didn't realize that Flexispot was going to give me a coupon code that has such a hefty discount on it. Usually this thing is around the $300 to $400 range, and there's a coupon code down below in the description where you can pick this thing up for about 200 bucks. I believe it's 208 to be exact. So that said, go ahead and watch the rest of the video, make your own informed decision as to whether or not this is something that's for you. And if it is, there's a coupon code down below in the description. You can get this thing for a great deal. So back to the video. I also just wanted to say a quick thank you to you guys, my viewers. Thank you for liking, for subscribing, for continuing to watch my content, for using my links down below in the description. All of the stuff that goes into engaging with the content that I make is very much appreciated. You guys continuing to watch my stuff, you guys continuing to, again, like use the links in my descriptions, and all of that is really what enables me to keep posting content like this consistently, and I really do appreciate it. So a quick thank you to you guys, and now back to the video. This is not a sponsorship offer I would have taken if I did not believe it to be helpful to my community in some way, shape, or form. So with that out of the way, let's get started. My editing setup is something that has changed quite a bit throughout the years when it comes to photo editing, video editing, and my general creative practice. My desk setup and the editing setup on it has been something that has changed quite a bit, you know, as I've moved states, moved houses, gotten new pieces of gear, new desks, stuff like that. But some things have stayed the same for quite a long time. For example, my M1 Max MacBook Pro. I've been editing everything on that one as my main computer for the last 3 or 4 years at least. I also made the switch from Adobe's Lightroom and Photoshop over to Capture One and Affinity Photo when it comes to my photo editing. However, the one thing that I think has been probably the biggest upgrade to my editing setup, in a long time at least, is what I'm currently sitting in. And I know you're probably thinking, Paul, what does a chair have to do with your editing setup? Do you edit standing up? Because I don't. Now, those of you out there who are also photographers and YouTubers, or you do a lot of video work, you know you spend a lot of time sitting at your desk. And so when Flexispot reached out to me, I initially was thinking, what does an office chair have to do with photography? Until I realized that the majority of us probably spend most of our days at our desk. And having considerable personal experience with back pain and how hard it can be to focus on stuff and get work done, I thought, this would probably be useful for people who are looking to improve their overall work by improving how they feel while they're working, and I think that's important. So, without further ado, let's talk about this thing. We'll start from the top down. First, look at this. A fully adjustable headrest. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's nice to have something to actually like lean your head back on and take some tension off of your neck, especially if, like me, you're working on a laptop at a desk that is a little bit too low and you find yourself looking down often. This chair is also durable. It's made of a strong, breathable mesh, and everything else in here is metal and some kind of like thick, pretty solid plastic, and the maximum weight capacity on this thing is 400 pounds. I'm nowhere near that, so I'm not worried about breaking it, but it's nice to know that this is something that can, for lack of a better term, take a beating and still work just fine, which is great. You can also tilt this thing back, and I mean way back, which is awesome. I don't even know if I was in frame for that, but it gets the point across. The level of tilt is also something you can lock. You can lock this chair at about 90 degrees, which is where I have it most of the time for when I'm working, or you can lock it here at about 100 and I believe this is about 115 degrees, and then unlocked, of course, you can go way back here. And another thing that's nice is you can even lock it in this position too. I think I got it stuck. Oh, what was that? Oh, no, shouldn't have done that. That was an adventure. Hold on. You can also adjust the amount of pressure it takes to tilt the chair back via a knob on the bottom of the chair that you can tighten or loosen. It's fantastic to be able to adjust that, but it's kind of frustrating, and I'll get to that in the con section as well. This chair is also not too cushy. I like to kind of follow the Goldilocks principle here. It is a little on the hard side. It's very supportive, which is important for the health of, your spine and everything else in your body. However, it would be nice if it was a little bit softer and had just a little bit more give. Another thing that's nice is the lumbar support. Being able to actually have something that is somewhat adjustable for lumbar support is very, very nice. You can tailor it to exactly where you need it for your back. You can adjust the entire back of this chair up or down, which is quite nice to be able to put the lumbar support exactly where you need it. You can also customize the lumbar support to either have some give and move with you or be a little bit more sturdy with a little less give. And that's usually how I like it, because I find that if I let it move with me, I still end up sitting like a cashew. Yes, like you, stop it. This also has a footrest. Yes, a footrest. And it's pretty great. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, and I have some cons for that too, but being able to have an office chair with a footrest, period, even if it's not perfect, is awesome. It is comfortable, and it is easily adjustable based on how long or short your legs are, which is great. Before I talk about the cons, I need to mention the armrests. These are adjustable. You can go up, you can go down, you can twist them to give them a little bit of an angle. You can slide them forward, you can slide them back. You can put them essentially wherever you need to, which is great. I find myself doing that quite a bit. That said, this thing is not perfect. So let me talk about the cons. Starting from the top down, again, the headrest is lovely to have. However, it's annoying to adjust from back here. Honestly, it's easier if you just get out of the chair and adjust it and then sit back in the chair and see if you got it right. It also isn't solid. And what I mean by that is when you have it in a position that you really, really like, it still moves like this, which I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but I would much rather have it just locked up in a solid position that doesn't move once I get it right. So that's kind of annoying. Another thing that's frustrating is the footrest. When I have the footrest fully extended, it does feel like there's a good amount of flex or a good amount of bend in the metal posts or in the brackets that are connecting the metal posts to the chair. I'm not necessarily worried about it breaking, but the amount of flex that's there is a little bit disconcerting and it feels kind of cheap. I would much rather it have been like a more solid implementation. Also, it's kind of a multi-step process to deploy the footrest. In order to do that, you have to sit up in the chair, spread your knees so that you can access it, and then you bend down, pull it out, and flip it over in a way that kind of feels a little bit unintuitive. So what feels like it could have been a 1, maybe 2-step process at most feels more like a 3 or a 4-step process, which is kind of annoying. Another thing that kind of annoys me is the tilt tension adjustment. The knob that allows you to do it is in a really inconvenient place. It's on the bottom of the chair, and so in order to get to it, you either have to bend all the way down to get to it with your hand underneath the chair, or get out of the chair and get on the floor to adjust it, or turn the chair upside down. Neither of those last two are ideal, and even the first one is quite inconvenient because then that puts stress and strain on your lower back. So it would have been much nicer if Flexispot could put it in a more easy to reach place. Personally, I don't like where it's located. Another thing that is frustrating, the adjustable back height is fantastic, but actually adjusting it is annoying. You have 4 levels of vertical adjustment, and then to get back to reset all the way down, you adjust it into the top position and then you pull it out 1 more, and that resets it and you can put it all the way back down. The thing that's frustrating is it's way too easy, especially if you're trying to get it into that 4th position. It's way too easy to accidentally go past the 4th position and just reset it and have to do it again. All summed up, is this chair worth it? Honestly, that kind of depends. The full retail price of this chair is somewhere around the $300 to $400 range, but I have seen the previous generation of this chair go on sale, and so I'm sure this one will go on sale fairly often as well. And when that happens, you can usually get it around the 200, 250-ish mark, I believe. That being said, I feel like this is a great chair to pick up at the sale price. Personally, in my own opinion, if I was going to buy something like this at the full retail price of around 400, 350 to 400, I would like something that feels a little bit more solidly built, something that doesn't have a wiggly headrest like this, something that doesn't have a lot of flex in the footrest, and something that has like tilt tension adjustments in a much easier to reach place. If any of those things are deal breakers for you, I wouldn't recommend this, but if those don't bother you too much and you can get this on sale, then yeah, I would definitely say it's worth it. So hopefully you found this helpful. I know I have found this thing helpful when it comes to my work, as I am in significantly less pain than I was before, and that is something that I'm grateful for. However, I want to be able to share that with you guys. So if any of you are out there and you spend lots of time editing photos, editing videos, like I do yourself a solid and get a proper chair. Go out and get yourself something that is going to tailor more to the positions you should be sitting in rather than sitting like a comma. Hopefully this is helpful to you. Hopefully this has given you some ideas of things to look at. If you're interested in this particular chair, there's a link down below in the description, but I would recommend doing yourself a favor and at least looking at ergonomic chairs in general. You'll work better because you'll feel better, and I'm all for making better work and feeling better. So when you combine those two things, seems like a no-brainer. So hopefully this is helpful. Subscribe, like, do all the things that popular YouTubers tell you to do, and I will see you in the next video.